What's up, y'all? What is good to everybody? How is everyone doing today, man? You already know how it go. It is your boy B back with another video. So number one, guys, I hope you guys had a great day, of course, and I hope you guys continue to push yourselves further. Try and become better than you were yesterday. We have a few things to talk about today. As you guys see, I was helping someone with their homework. But nevertheless, guys, we're going to be talking about how I sell phones that I brought on OfferUp. So, number one, right? If you guys remember, I tell you guys a lot about the different types of ways you have to flip phones. Now, you have a bunch of different ways, but I like to break it down in the simplest form possible. So when you get a phone, you have an option to sell it to a wholesaler, right? Somebody that is buying a phone to sell it internationally or sell it to somebody else, right? They're basically buying, they're the middleman. They're buying the phone from you to sell to somebody else so they can make some bread, right? Now, this is important. Why is it important? Because, see, when you take a deep dive into phone flipping, you start to realize that it's pretty important to make sure that you have options. Now, I personally didn't ever understand how important having options was until I didn't have any. All right. And I tell people this story all the time. I was flipping phones. I was doing pretty well, but I had one buyer. And that one buyer knew he was my only buyer. And what he did was take advantage of me, and he ended up cheating me out of money. The more phones that I gave him, the less he started paying me. And in return, I started to figure out that something had to change, right? I can't keep letting somebody catch me slipping. And that was a big problem, a big issue, right? So one thing that I will tell you guys is making sure you have leverage, and maintaining that leverage is important. So we're going to go and talk about exactly what I would do or how I sell phones, okay? Now, most of the phones that I do have on my profile currently are on my business OfferUp. Now, you don't have to have a business OfferUp. You can have a regular OfferUp. Now, OfferUp doesn't have business or personal. When I say business, I mean my OfferUp basically entitles everything, you know, that my store has to offer. But when I buy phones, the way I look at it is, what is the market value of the device? And if the market value of the device is too low, then I'd rather sell it to a consumer that will appreciate it basically more, right? So I'd rather sell it to somebody that is going to pay more, or somebody that may have a higher valuation than what market value currently is. So if we were talking about phones, we can do a really, really good example, and I can really show you guys exactly what I mean right here, okay? And I'm pulling it up so you guys can actually see how everything transpired. Let me see. All right, there we go. Okay, now I have a few different ways that I list phones. And the number one thing that you want to make sure you're doing is always being straight up. Like, one thing I don't do, and I have a really good video out about this as well, is I don't like color coding. I don't like suspense. I don't like making things more difficult than what they need to be. I tend to try and tell the customer exactly what they're going to get, especially when I'm selling phones. I'll even include the IMEI if needed. I'll include every single spec of the device just to get the device sold. I'm not here to try and make a seller or make a buyer, do backflips to buy a phone that I have. I usually always include the IMEI in the picture. All right, so we're going to go over this right now. So I'm going to show you a few, and I have multiple OfferUps. I utilize other people's OfferUps, and I pay them for them to list them on, or list devices or buy things on their OfferUp, because having one OfferUp is stagnant, especially a business one. I tend to try and just use my business one under the radar, but let's get into it. So, number one, right? One of the biggest problems that a lot of people have is they overcomplicate the process. Now, when it comes to phones that I am selling, right, I always have to see what they're worth market value-wise. So, prime example, we're going to be working with the iPhone 13s because, like I told you guys already, iPhone 13s are the phone to buy right now, right? They're one of them, not the phone, right? Not like the only phone, but they're one of them. They're a really, really good phone model for you to buy because it does still take a SIM card. It does still work very well. And also, it is a phone that, if I'm being really honest, doesn't do anything that, or it doesn't not do anything that we need. Like, it does everything that you need, right? And if you look at the market value for the iPhone 13 Pro Max, you see B grade, we looking at 210, we looking at 155, we looking at 250 for 256. So, like, what I started to realize when I was buying this phone model is, yo, I'm not selling this phone to a buyer for them to pay me $250. It's not happening, okay? $250, that's not happening, right? I want more money. So if I have these feelings or these models phone-wise that are valued less than what I'm willing to take, what I'll do is I will overpay for a phone to get it, and then I will sell it for higher. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the exact amount that I'm paying for each of the listings I'm about to show you. Each of the listings I'm about to show you are really good examples of how I incorporated the wholesale buyer, the consumer, found the best deal, closed the deal, was transparent, made sure the customer had no questions, and just sold the phone. 99% of the transactions that I have on OfferUp when I'm selling phones, which I rarely do. I rarely sell phones to consumers because I rarely buy phones that are low market value, is I always make sure that when I meet up with the customer, they don't have any questions. Like, that's the main thing. So I'm going to walk you guys step by step. Number one, you buy a phone. So let's say, for this example, we brought an iPhone 13 Pro Max. We brought this iPhone 13 Pro Max for $230, okay? Now, that is the price point that I got this phone. Why? Because I did some negotiating and I was able to walk away from a deal, come back to the deal, and have this person be desperate enough to sell me the device. Now, $230 isn't a steal. $200 would have been a steal in my opinion. But now I need to get my money, right? So the way I look at it is, number one, what you want to do is look at what the market value is. We see the market value for, because let me see what this is. This is like a, okay. So, number one, I want to make this clear. These are not pictures that I took. These are pictures I took from another listing. These are not the pictures for the exact phone. I remember when I took these from another profile. And the reason I took these, I just had brought a phone. It was a blue iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's unlocked, and I was driving. And see, what I do, once I buy a phone, I immediately put it on OfferUp if I know it's a phone that may be low market value, or if a phone that I already know a buyer ain't paying me a lot. I'll go on OfferUp, and literally on my phone, I'll just type the phone model that I just brought, or I'll literally just take the same pictures from the person I literally just brought the phone from, which I did. I am not somebody that overthinks. I'm somebody that is very simple. I just do what I need to do to get things done. And these are the pictures that the person actually that was selling the phone had on theirs. I just copied them and put them on mine and said iPhone 13 Pro Max 256 unlocked. That is how I list the phones. Okay, I just say what it is. I say what gigabyte it is. And also I say if it's carrier or unlocked. Okay, then what I do is when I look at pricing, this is where things could get complicated if you don't understand profit margin and also inflation, and also understanding how to attract buyers that will argue you down to the point to where they feel like they win when, of course, you win in the long run. Okay, so the way I work on pricing, let's actually go over this formula right now, is no matter what I buy, I want to make sure that I am overpricing it by $100 to $150. So remember, I bought this phone to $230. Now, I know I bought it for $230, but I know for a fact that I want, if I'm selling to a consumer, I want at least $100, or I'll even take $80, right? Remember, with a buyer, I am willing to take what? $50, right? So I want a consumer to pay me more because that is the point of me selling to a consumer. If we recap what the difference is between selling to a consumer and selling to a wholesale buyer is going to buy a device faster. A consumer is going to take a bit of time because people are going to be shopping around. People are going to be trying to negotiate. People are trying to find the best deal. But you're looking for somebody desperate, somebody who wants that phone and that device that you have. And trust me, someone will come along. It's just all about, are you willing to be patient enough? And that's why when you get the phone, you immediately want to list it up because you don't have any more time to waste than it already is going to be. So I look at the price that I brought. I know I brought it for $230. I automatically go ahead and say, all right, let's go up $100, right? Now I say let's go up $100 because if I can make $100 for this device, I'm happy. Now you guys already know that if I was to get $330, I'm good, right? Because it's a $100 profit, right? The problem is see, where we lose our business mind is we don't think about traveling. We don't think about meeting time. We don't think about any of those, right? And I'm a victim of that. I used to not think about what other intangibles went into me closing a deal. I used to just want to close the deal, right? So what I think about now is, how long am I going to have to wait? Am I going to have to go out my way? Absolutely. So that's going to cost you. So what I do is, instead of me just settling for $330, because I already know if I settle for $330, somebody probably might try to argue me to $300, right? Somebody might say, all right, I just shaved $30 off. Or somebody might try to give me a $275 for the phone. I don't want them to go that low. So what I do is I'll say, okay, $230, I'll go up either 50 or 90 more. Now, the reason is because this is my leeway room. So what I ended up doing was I went up, I believe, $70 to the $400 price range. Yes. Right? So I said, all right, $400 is what I'm going to list it at. Not because I want $400, because God knows I don't, right? God knows I don't want $400. And see, this is where you start to understand how to embrace your leverage, right? A lot of people lose leverage when they are desperate, right? We don't want to be desperate. We just want to make sense. We want our post to make sense. We want to be able to get the product sold without having to worry about anybody trying to finesse us, right? Like, that's sort of kind of the key, right? Now, this phone was very interesting, and I'm going to tell y'all where I messed up, okay? So, just like I can tell y'all I'm successful when I do this, and I'm going to tell y'all when I mess up, right? So, boom, this is what happened. So, this person said, I would like to buy the iPhone 13 Pro Max 256 unlocked, right? So, I said, we can do that. That's it. Like, I'm not going back and forth, okay? So, he said for $350. Remember, I paid $230. Now, here is the caveat. This device was cracked. Now, I fixed the screen. Okay? That is why I got it for so low. The phone was cracked. But what happened was, I put it up with these pictures. Then because I'm remembering now. Then I went home. I brought the screen, put the screen on. But by the time I put the screen on, this guy was hitting me up. So he hit me up, and I already knew if I put the price point at $400, I'll get somebody to offer $350. Same thing, if let's say I went at $400, I'll probably do $500, knowing that somebody may offer me what? $450, right? So now, mind you, it was a bunch of other offers, guys. A bunch of other waiting dumb offers, $320, $350. Now, this person said, this person was trying to negotiate, and I said the lowest I could do was $350. He wasn't biting. It's a bunch of other people. This person was supposed to meet up with me, but see, I ended up having a lot of people trying to buy the phone, right, of course, when somebody else wanted to buy, right? So this is what happened. So I go ahead, fix the screen. I'm going and going. I send him an address, right? So I sent him the address. I said, let me know your ETA. He says, sorry, I had to get my son. I still want the phone if you're still able to meet. Now, it's 7:36 p.m. Now, see, I'm the type of person, I don't meet people after sundown. And at this point, it was January 10th. So the sun was going down at this time. So it was an icy dunny bun, right? Like, I just didn't answer. Now, this is where I try to tell you guys not to be desperate, because if you become desperate, you're going to be somebody that's going to lose out. You're going to be somebody that's going to get robbed. You're going to get finessed. Don't be scared to walk away from the deal. So I didn't meet up with him. I didn't say anything back. Okay. He said, hey, sorry, I had to get my son. I said, hey, it would have to be in the morning. I had to get my kids also. Boom. In the morning time, I said, just let me know. He said, just getting up at 10:30 a.m. I said, no problem, that's fine. You see, I'm not like, no problem, that's fine. What could we meet? No, it's just like, all right, no problem, that's fine. Like, it's all about being indifferent, right? So long story short, I said, I'm here. Can you do 12? He said, okay. He said, you at a store. So here's the thing, and I did a video on this. It was just me meeting up with somebody for a phone. But I showed in the video how even if you don't have a store, you can still finesse like you have a store to people. Now, and this is how you do it. You go to the nearest shopping plaza around you, right? And what you do is you tell the person, hey, can you meet me at my store? Now, you're not saying it's your phone store or your place of employment. So this person says, you're at a store. Absolutely. I said, yes, I have a store. Right now, I am working with this T-Mobile this week. So what I did, right, was I texted him the address to a T-Mobile. And I said, I'm working at the T-Mobile. Now, I was not working at the T-Mobile. I did not have T-Mobile gear on. I was not in T-Mobile. But he pulled up at T-Mobile. Why was this important? Because T-Mobile has security cameras outside. They have security cameras inside. They have SIM card poppers. They have everything I need, and just in case. But they ain't have what I needed at this point. Well, we're going to get to it. So, all right, he said, so I can get it activated right where you're at. This is a question you'll get a lot, right? When you say you're at a phone store, if they have that carrier, they're going to be like, oh, well, can you activate it for me? So then I said, you can go into T-Mobile and activate it whenever you choose. I don't activate phones. I buy them. I work with different stores providing them with buyback services. I am not a direct connect to connecting service. Boom. That's it. So, again, y'all can steal that. I'm giving y'all a whole bunch of game, and I hope you guys are taking notes, right? So he said, oh, okay, I'm here. So I said, okay, give me 3 minutes. Why did I say that? Because I was not there. I wasn't there. I don't go to people. People go to me. I don't go to people. People go to me. Okay? That's important. I don't give my leverage up by going and venturing out to someone. Once you go out and you go out your way to go meet with somebody, they have the leverage. They control the sale. You become desperate. You become sweaty because you want to make sure the deal gets done because you just drove 30 minutes. I never would put myself in that position. Now I have, obviously, starting out until I mastered this game. So I said, okay, give me 3 minutes because that's how far I was from that place, my store currently, right? Then I pulled up. I said, what car you in? He was in a black truck, a really big black truck. Okay, I remember. I said, okay, I'm right here. I pulled up right next to him. I said, and then when I put it right next to him, this is where the story gets juicy. I basically came out, went to meet with him. The screen that I fixed the phone with, that screen had a blemish. Now, if you are a repairman, you know that's the one thing we hate. When you buy a screen, you can't necessarily test the screen all the time. I brought a screen and it had a blemish on it. I put it on the phone. I didn't see the blemish. The guy touched the phone. He saw the blemish. He said, I don't want to buy it, bro. This joint got a blemish. I said, bro, give me a second. I had my guy pull up, take that thing back to the store, fix it, come back. So that's how it happened. They came back. My guy fixed it. And then once my guy fixed it, mind you, I want to tell y'all how much leverage plays the part. Y'all ready? And it's a reason I'm showing y'all guys this text thread, because a lot of the people, see y'all watching, let me go full screen. See, y'all learning how to phone flip from people that don't phone flip. Y'all learning how to phone flip from people that's not in the field. I'm in the field. I've been in dangerous situations. I've been in nice, safe situations. I've been in clear, clean cut situations. I've been in dirty, grimy situations. I've been in situations where I knew I was going to get paid, and I've been in situations where I was like, I don't know. I've been in situations where one person showed up. I've been in situations where 10 showed up. I'm telling you right now, when you get in the field and when you're really about this phone flipping life, you know and have seen a bunch of stuff, and you know how to fix and override a bunch of objections. So, boom, I get the phone fixed, but let me show you where leverage plays a part. Let's do some time watching. So he said he was here at 12:03. Guys, he did not leave until 1:15, I believe. Because when I said he's fixing it right now, it took him 30 minutes to fix it. And I said he was fixing it right now at 12:30. So he waited because he traveled so far to get the phone that he could not leave. Why is that important? It's important because when you want to get phones sold, you make sure that the person that wants to buy that phone cannot turn their back. They can't have buyer's remorse. Why is that important? It's important because we live in a conversion game. Phone flipping is all about conversions. It's not about which person dresses the best. It's not about how much money you got. It ain't about the phone. It really is about converting. It's about every time you meet up with somebody, are you getting the sale or buying the phone, right? So, boom. He stayed with me for about an hour and a half. An hour and a half, and I messed up. Now, to make up for this, I did end up giving him some cases and some accessories. I said, my fault, bro. This is not how I do business. And believe it or not, he actually brought another phone from me. He brought another phone. But the point of the matter is, guys, I am showing you guys how I finessed and how I sell phones. Now, you might be like, Brandon, this is easy. All right. Well, what if I told you guys that I didn't tell you guys all the truth? What if I told you guys I told you half the truth? What if I told you guys that, you remember when I said that I fixed the screen? You remember when I said this phone was cracked? Remember when I said that I took these pictures from the person that was actually selling me the phone? Well, guys, these pictures right here are not pictures from the person that I got the phone from. These are pictures I just stole from somebody on OfferUp. But these are the pictures that look exactly like the phone. Here are the pictures from the person that I brought them from. Yup. So let me make this very clear. Look at the title. It says cracked iPhone 13 Pro Max 256 unlocked. Let's look at this one. iPhone 13 Pro Max 256 unlocked. Now, why did I do this? See, because what happens is, you know how I tell people when they're first starting to flip phones, make sure that you go ahead and buy phones that are damaged. Or make sure you buy phones with defects because they're going to be cheaper. Now, remember, I got this phone for $230 because I had a cracked screen. But what I thought in my head, I said, you know what? I want to make sure that I sell this phone damaged or not. I said, if I can sell this phone while it's damaged, then I don't have to kick out the $50 for the screen. If I buy the phone and then fix the screen, and somebody wants to buy it without the crack, cool. I'll pay the $50. So what I did was I put two listings up. I put a listing up with a very professional, clean-cut phone. And then I put the pictures up with the crack, messed up phone. And both pictures, right, have the device. One picture has the IMEI and one doesn't. Why? See, because I knew that if I put the same IMEI on this listing, they would know this phone was this phone. So what I did was I only put the IMEI on the crack one. And as you guys see, I don't hide the IMEI. I don't hide the EID. When I'm listing phones, I tell you what's up with it. The device has only a cracked screen. It is on 84% battery life. Everything but the screen is perfect condition, and the device is completely unlocked. That's it. I tell you exactly what you're getting. I don't color code. I don't try to dance around. We just get straight to business. All right. So why is all of this important? It's important because when you are trying to flip phones, I want you guys to stop thinking that buyers are the end all be all. Now, yes, buyers are my preferred method, but buyers are not they're not a need, right? Like, you don't need to just sell it to buyers. There is a world where you don't want to sell to buyers. There are scenarios where you don't want to sell to wholesale buyers. There are scenarios where you want to sell to people like you and me. And those scenarios are going to be scenarios where you have phones that are cracked that, yes, you can get fixed. That's why I tell you how to make sure you partner with a repair shop. But you want to make sure also that you are selling to a consumer so you can get more money. I got more bread from this than I would have got from a buyer, a wholesale buyer. So I was happy. Okay. And this took me, I believe, a day. Okay. So again, guys, that's how I go ahead and flip phones on OfferUp. Now, I don't do it on a consistent basis. I usually just sell it to a buyer because it's easier. Because, like, when we go through different methods, like this is iPhone 13, right? I did something that you never want to do. Never want to do. One, as you guys see, this is the T-Mobile iPhone 13 128, right? I put iPhone 13 128 T-Mobile. If you guys look, now market value is a bit different, but it's similar, right? An iPhone 13 locked, look at that market value. I would never sell this to no damn buyer for $70 and $80. But what the value tells me is that, hey, Brandon, while the buyer will only pay $70 to $80 for the iPhone 13, it lets me know the iPhone 13 is a phone that people are getting on promotion. It lets me know that the reason the buyer will only pay $80 to $70 is not because the phone don't work or they don't like the phone or the phone is corny or people don't buy it. It's because people are getting that phone for extra cheap, so buyers aren't going to be finessed. They know the promotions and the things that are going on in cell phone stores, and they base some of the market value based upon the deals and, you know, the stuff that the cell phone carriers are doing, like the buy one get one free, or the $0 get an iPhone 16 on us type of thing, right? Like those promotions. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, because that's like a little bit advanced when it comes to some people not knowing like plans. I'm not saying you need to know the plans, but what I'm saying is market value does have something to do with the fact of, is this phone free? Are people going into stores, creating accounts, getting the phones for free, and then trying to sell it to us and trying to tax us? Like, we're not just going to get taxed. And that's why you need a price list, because see, some people are just getting taxed because they don't even understand that there is market value out there. And the market value, now, I didn't buy this for $70. I didn't buy this for $80. I know exactly how much I bought this phone for. I actually bought this phone for more than I bought the iPhone 13 for. I bought this phone for, I believe it was $240 or $45. Okay. Now, I knew for a fact that me getting this device, I wasn't going to be able to make $100 profit, but I knew for a fact also nobody was going to sell me this iPhone 13 for $100 or $200. Nobody's going to, well, now I can get 13s for $200, but back at this point, I couldn't get them for $200. People weren't willing to go down that low. But the point of the matter was okay, locked to T-Mobile, great, B+ battery on 88%, comes with a warranty. Wow. Why did I say it comes with a warranty? See, again, y'all got to stop watching these fraudulent phone flippers and tap in with your boy. Because, see, people don't know how to sell phones. I do. What the hell do I mean? It comes with the warranty. Brandon, you just brought the phone. I literally went up to somebody, met up with them in the area I chose, gave them money, and walked away with the phone. I didn't ask them, did this come with the warranty? But, see, here's where things get a little bit deep, right? Let me pull this up real quick. See, there's a tool that I use. And I'm giving y'all all game because when y'all join my lives, I want y'all to I want to normalize you guys feeling like you're getting the most value because we don't gatekeep over here. I try my best to make sure that I'm putting you guys in the best positions possible as far as knowledge-wise, okay? So, let me try and actually find this John real quick. Okay. I believe this is the one. All right, so, look, watch this. So, again, right, and if you want to learn a phone flip, definitely go ahead. I mean, I got to plug myself in. Go ahead and join a community. I teach you step by step. All you got to do, join a community. You can pay $27 and you can start making this bread, okay? I don't know why I keep going this way. Let me actually do it like this real quick so you guys can actually see. All you do is go to hustlertaughtme.com. You go ahead and join a community. You join a community. You have a one-on-one mentorship with me, and I actually teach you how to really phone flip, okay? I teach you how to grow. You can do the $27 a month. You could do the $99. $99 is going to include weekly classes with me. It's more intimate, weekly goal setting and all of that. This basically includes every type of literature, every type of replay, every type of PDF templates, everything, checklists, all that. Okay, $27 a month is a no-brainer. All right, I'm done with the commercial. All right, so basically, right, what you do is you check the IMEI. Now, when you check the IMEI, you got to look. Now, what I want you guys to look at is where it says limited warranty. What does that mean? That means that it's still under warranty. Now, it's limited, yes, because it's only going to cover if it's something internally is affected with the phone. But why do I sell it saying it comes with a warranty? Because what it does is it builds the value of the device. It also goes with a narrative that we have our store, right? And we're also able to make sure we give that customer some type of comfort. So saying that it comes with a warranty, now, again, make sure that customer is trusting us more. And in reality, we gave them everything they need to know. And they're not going to have no problem with this device. And even if they did, all they got to do is call Apple. Apple then takes the serial number and then helps them with the warranty. We have nothing to do with the warranty, but we let them know public information. It comes with a limited warranty. Yes. Now, if it came with something else, let's say, let me try to go into my orders real quick, guys. Let's say, I just want to find something else, okay? I'm going to try to find another one. Okay, look. So here's one right here. So let's say you look it up, and I teach you how to do all of this within my community, guys. Let's say you want to do Apple Care Plus, or you see a device and now it says Apple Care Plus. This is going. So now what happens is you could be like, oh, yeah, phone is unlocked. It is a iPhone, what is it? iPhone 16 white, and it comes with Apple Care Plus. $700. $700 because it comes with Apple Care Plus, which means you get free phone screen replacements. You get a bunch of different benefits and perks. Bro, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You got to use the IMEI information to sell these phones as well. All right, guys. So, again, it's all about using every single tool in your toolbox to actually sell these devices to maximize your profit. All right? And it's something that you guys can do right now. If you guys don't know, I'm not like somebody special. You feel me? Like, I'm just like you. I've made mistakes phone flipping. I've done bad deals. Like, I've made mistakes, but the difference is I've learned from mistakes that I've made, and I transition it into teaching you guys so you guys don't have to make those mistakes, and you guys can be and continue to grow and be as successful as possible. So it's very important for you guys to know that everything that I have went over today, you guys can do. You guys can do. Phone flipping ain't hard, all right? Product reselling ain't hard. It's just all about, do you know the information that you could incorporate in your life to make your stuff work, okay? Or make the profit you want to make, all right? So, guys, that is going to be the video today. Now, I have to close it with some motivation, of course. And the motivation that's on my mind today, when it comes to all of my hustlers, I want to number one, first. I need y'all to do something for me. So if you guys don't know, Educated Hustler Journals, right? If y'all don't know, because talking about motivation, I do wanna, I gotta tell y'all something. So subscribe to this channel, okay? This channel, I'm putting out videos. I have not been doing it for a while, but I'm putting out videos every single day. It is different. It's different parts of me that I wish I've learned as an entrepreneur, and I'm giving you guys a bunch of insight on the back office operations and the mindsets that I have had to change and things I went through. It's Educated Hustler Journals. So definitely go ahead, lock in with this channel. I'll be on this channel spitting mad game, bro. Like, even if I get one viewer, that one viewer gonna get mad game. You feel me? All right. So, all right. Basically, when it comes to motivation, what I want to talk about is understanding when you are trying to work with people, or when you're trying to build, when you're trying to grow your electronic business or even your phone flipping business, there is a moment in time where you're going to have to get up off your ass and go out. You're going to have to stop waiting for people or opportunities to come, and you're going to have to go and take them. And I was talking to a student. That video is out right now, okay? If you guys have not already, go ahead and check out the video I just released, okay? It's a video that just came out a couple right here. This video, I've never, well, I can't say that. That's a lie. But I have not had such a good, fulfilling student session like this, full of information. And this is a really good video. Like, it's a really good video, okay? With a student, and me and this student talking about how he can start his reselling business. So definitely check that out. But the point of the matter is, I was telling him how it's important to get out and actually do, see, feel, touch your customers, touch the people that are buying from you or the people you're trying to sell to. And then I was telling him how a lot of people think the phones are valuable and the products are valuable. But the real thing that is valuable is not any of that. The value is you, because there's a bunch of people trying to buy, flip, sell phones. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of people trying to sell products. There's a bunch of people trying to sell AirPod reps. And the question he asked me was, hey, Brandon, why are you recommending me to sell headphones on eBay and Mercari? He said, I tried that before and it didn't work. I said, well, you tried it before and it didn't work because you were selling the same thing the next person was. I said, the reason it didn't work was because you're out there trying to duplicate and replicate what already has been done. I said, the difference is you've been selling products this whole time thinking the products were the value, instead of realizing that you were a part of that value, a big part of that value. Because, see, we all can go ahead and sell the same product. See, the products that I sell, the products, the boxes, the cables, all of the things that I sell, these things are not the value, because there's another person in China, there's another person in New Jersey, another person in Florida, another person in Cali, another person in Virginia, another person in Baltimore that's probably selling the same stuff that I'm selling. But the difference is that that person is not selling their value. See, my value is the fact that I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that these AirPods are 100% Apple. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that these are Apple AirPods. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that. What I'm going to tell you is that these AirPods are generic AirPods that are clones. They have no Apple signage on them, and these work just like the replicas. Now, let me tell you something. A customer is going to respect me way more than they would respect somebody that's trying to sell them on eBay as AirPod Max Gen 2s. Why? Because, see, a customer, rather you tell them what to expect than you try to finesse them and tell them what they should expect, knowing that they're not going to expect it. So you build more value, understanding that you are the person that the person is doing the transaction with, and you're the one that is going to build that relationship with the customer. Because I can't say 90, that's a lie. About 70% of my business personally is all word of mouth. It's about, hey, is this customer actually enjoying this product? And then they leave me a review, whether it's on hustlertaughtme, WESPLY.com, and I mean hustlertaughtme.com, or eBay, Mercari. The feedback is what gets you the money. The customers being happy is what gets you the money. The people actually caring about you because they know that you do good business gets you the money. Why do a lot of these phone flippers fail? Why? I'm going to break it down. Why do a lot of phone flippers say they flip phones or actually flip phones, but don't actually get the success they want? Because they're too busy trying to flip phones like somebody else. They're too busy trying to flip phones like somebody. Do you guys realize watching my videos that a lot of the things that I do is completely different from everybody else? Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that the way that I go about my business and the way that I try and sell phones or the way that I approach OfferUp? You know, when I got on this platform and started flipping phones, you know that some guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he's no longer, he's not in my algorithm. Yeah. Let me make sure, because he's a bum. But the guy that, because remember, when I got on here, it wasn't me actually getting on here to be somebody. Like, I was just getting on here to just make videos, literally. But this guy was trying to, like, tell me how, like, he got upset because I was stealing his titles. Like, I would make my titles similar to his. So he was getting upset. And then he ended up trying to tell me, like, yo, you're teaching people how to do, how to flip phones on OfferUp. Yeah, because that's what works. See, the difference is you guys are trying to tell people to flip phones on Facebook and flip phones on eBay because you already know that if you tell people to do that, when they don't get the results, you can blame those platforms. See, it's different with OfferUp. It's different with Macari. It's different with Facebook Marketplace when you are not relying on ads, when you're teaching people how to actually do these things genuinely. And that's what I teach you guys how to do. I teach you how to do it genuinely because it is hard. It's hard. It's hard building and growing and making profit. It's hard investing your money. It's hard spending your money on ads and not seeing anything back. It's hard staying motivated. It's hard. So, like, why would I teach you how to do it the wrong way for you guys to think that I'm some guru? Why would I tell you that you need to do Facebook ads when I know that if you do Facebook ads, you're competing with phone stores around you because those phone stores are actually doing Facebook ads because they have a marketing budget. You don't have a marketing budget. You're just trying to get started. You don't need to be thinking about a marketing budget. You need to be thinking about how you're going to actually organically be able to transfer leads. Why would you try to do Facebook ads when you don't even know how to close a lead? Which means you don't know how to close when somebody says, okay, hey, I'll sell you the phone. Okay, okay, yourself. Okay, well, can you text me your house address? Like, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen people fall into the traps. And I think that doing it the right way is going to always benefit you guys way more. But most importantly, the first step of doing it the right way is understanding that you might have to get up off your ass. And you might have to go to flea markets and go to actual places where you can see other people flipping and other people selling. Because, see, when you're around that energy, you start to realize, okay, there's a lot of room for improvement, but there's also a lot of people doing it around me I can network with. A phone flipper with no network is nobody. A phone flipper with no network is not someone that has any type of wealth. Because there's going to be times where I buy phones that I don't know how to flip. There's always times that happens. But see, like I brought a phone the other day where I brought a phone and it had an unlocking chip in it. But the phone wasn't unlocked. It had an unlocking chip. And this unlocking chip actually does unlock the phone. The problem is I did a software update on the phone, which locked the phone back. I was a little sick. All I had to do was call up one of my guys in Virginia. I called up my guy in Virginia. I called up my guy that is overseas. And I called up one of my guys in Jersey. And I was calling them, asking them for advice. Long story short, one of the people, they found me a buyer that would pay me the money I wanted. Network. It's important to have a network. It's important to have a network. It's important to understand that you can't do it by yourself. All right, guys. So while everybody's out here on social media trying to make it seem like they're doing this shit by themselves, I promise you they're not. I promise you people are actually seeking help from others, but you know, it's always more sexy when you make it seem as if you're doing this shit on your own. You know what I mean? It always looks way better when you're doing it on your own. Let's keep it a stack. Right? But I'm going to tell you something. There's not any business that I have seen successfully run doing it by themselves. And I used to be the person that thinks that I could do it by myself. But one day I had a friend and he took me to this Temple course, okay? Because, you know, we have colleges around Philly. Temple is one of the colleges downtown. And he said, yo, bro, I signed us up for this business course. And it was a business tax course, right? And I said, all right, cool. So I'm thinking we about to go into this course and talk about taxes, which we all need to know, right? So we did that. But the lady was actually an accountant. And I'm somebody that loves to seek information. See, Kanye West, no matter how crazy he is now, he did used to be kind of, calculated in a positive manner. And he said before, at one point, he said, anybody that withholds information from me is not for me. That has always stuck in my head. You know how like somebody says something and like it always sticks with you? That has always stuck with me because I realized as I grew, because I started becoming an entrepreneur, I started my entrepreneur journey as a 19-year-old, like an ignorant, selfish, self-centered, egotistic teenager. So understand, like, the way I talk, the way I walk, the way I conduct myself isn't because I have any training or because I've been taught or went to school for it. It's really because I have sought so much information from other entrepreneurs I met throughout my journey, right? So I'm at this Temple course. We learning about taxes and learning about how to make your home office a write-off and all this other stuff, right? And then the lady said something that stuck out to me way more than all of that stuff that she was teaching. She said this crazy ass thing. She said, every business should have, and I might be saying this wrong, orders of operations, basically. Like every business should have exactly how the business is supposed to be run on paper. But then she says, she looks at me, she says, Brandon, who is your secretary? At the time, I didn't have one, so I was like, me. Everybody in the class laughed. I'm like, what's so funny? She like, who's your marketing director? Me. She said, who's your accountant? Now, I do have an accountant. So I was like, my accountant is such and such. She said, okay. She said, your business will fail in the next 5 years. I didn't know how to take that. You got to remember, I'm in a room full of entrepreneurs, like people that are successful. Now, for granted, let's get this clear. Everybody says they're an entrepreneur. Okay? And in that room, I was around entrepreneurs. Okay? Understand the difference. Everybody says they were entrepreneurs, but I was in a room full of entrepreneurs. It's a difference between an entrepreneur and somebody that says they're an entrepreneur. See, an entrepreneur is somebody that actually has something to say they're an entrepreneur, right? I'm talking about contractors, cleaning service people, people that were actually lawn care people that have contracts with the city, people that get paid a bunch of money, right? So me being told this in front of everybody, that made me a little, I was like, I strunk. I felt like, damn, like, all right. I said, why you say that? She said, because you think you could do everything by yourself. I said, well, what if I don't have the money to pay all of these people in different sectors? She said, well, that's why you hire people that work for different reasons. Now, I can unpack that all in a different video, but basically what she was telling me is you can't build and scale by yourself because sometimes you're going to need people to tell you that the decision that you're about to make is stupid. Sometimes you're going to need somebody to tell you that expense that you're about to make on that sign isn't smart. Sometimes you're going to need somebody to tell you that phone that you're buying isn't going to work. Sometimes you need somebody to keep you on your toes to be like, yo, bro, like, You spending too much bread, and be quite frank, bro. You keep spending at this rate, you ain't gonna be able to buy those next devices next week. See, that's why I had the community. That's why I did this community. That was the point. That is why this community is relevant. Because, see, building and growing taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. And I had to understand that I cannot do it alone. So if I was to tell you guys any advice, y'all, it would be stop lying to yourself and acting as if you really want this as bad as you want to breathe, but you don't really want to get uncomfortable. You don't want to have people in the same room with you because you are embarrassed that you're not doing what you're supposed to. Stop being someone that works with coworkers but don't want to have any coworkers in your business. Stop being that person that says you want to be an entrepreneur but you're not acting or pulling the trigger because you're too scared to see what you actually can do. Stop being a person that acts as if you really care about videos like this when you know for a fact everything that I'm saying is going out one ear, well, in one ear and out the other, because you're too fucking scared. It's a difference between wanting it as bad as you want to breathe and being a coward and just being fascinated, over the idea of being financially stable. It's a difference between actually being financially stable and wanting to be financially stable. It's a difference between sacrificing and actually doing it. See, sacrificing is when you're sacrificing time and you're putting a bunch of work in, but doing it is actually executing. See, the difference is people think hard work brings results. Hard work doesn't get you anything. Being a hard worker does nothing but make you tired. Executing does something. See, I had to learn that, and I just learned that. And everything that I'm saying, to be completely honest and fair, is completely from the head and off my feelings on, the people I interact on a daily basis with, because I feel like this is something somebody out there needs to hear. Stop being a coward. I think that for the longest, I was hiring my friends to work with me because I didn't want anybody to tell me that what I was doing was not good enough. I think for the longest, I was scared to get an accountant because I didn't want anybody to tell me truly how broke I was. I think as an entrepreneur, as somebody trying to grow, one of the beautiful things about this life, like being an entrepreneur, is you get choices. But the choices you get, you make. And nobody can take those choices from you because you are the boss. And I love that, but at the same time, it's like a good and bad, because it's so scary because you didn't actually have to wake up today and do shit. I didn't have to get up and do anything. I didn't have to get on live right now, right? Like, I didn't have to get on live right now. I could have said, I'm watching this Netflix series, You know what I mean? You on Netflix, that's my stuff. I love that show, and I could have just been watching that, right? But I told myself that you better get your ass up and you better do your lives at 8:15 sharp. And when did I start this live? At 8:15 sharp, just like I did yesterday. Not because anybody was going to watch. Not because anybody was going to like. Not because anybody was going to comment. Not because anybody was actually going to gain anything. But because I hold myself up to that standard. Because I know for a fact that if I had a job and my boss said be there at fucking 8:15, I would have to be there. It's a difference between understanding how to hold yourself accountable just like you let other people hold you accountable with your job. It's a difference between understanding how to respect a boss and not respecting yourself. So when you look at yourself and you realize, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, really ask yourself, are you really an entrepreneur? Because, see, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to actually hold yourself accountable. You're going to hold yourself accountable just like you would expect that boss to. But here's the difference. As an entrepreneur, you got to hold yourself accountable because nobody else will, because you have options. You have choices. You could be okay and satisfied with making $300 a day. Yay, I made $300. I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, yeah, I made $500. Great. Let's go. Let me go ahead and go to the courts and play basketball all day. Let me go ahead and okay, I made $500. Let me go ahead and book a flight. Spirit, here I come. And I'm so proud of myself. And I'm going to tell you something, as an entrepreneur, especially with the people around you, you ain't going to hear nobody say they're proud of you. I don't remember the last time I heard anybody say they were proud of me. Nobody. And I think as an entrepreneur, and I'm going to keep saying as an entrepreneur, that is one of the hardest things you can have to deal with on a daily basis. Because when you go to work, you get promotions. You have like different milestones you can reach. If you're a cashier, you could be a front end manager. If you are a sales rep, you could be a store manager or assistant manager. You have different ways and different things to climb up. But as an entrepreneur, there's nothing to climb up but money. And that's why people fail, because they start thinking they're an entrepreneur to make bread instead of being an entrepreneur to actually make themselves better, to get freedom. And when I mean freedom, I'm not talking about no like, oh my God, be free, break the chains. No, I'm talking about literally have time to yourself to be able to do and create the way you want. But the only way you could do that is by actually holding yourself accountable, and people don't do it because they don't have to. That's why people go back to the job. That's why people don't continue their businesses and they fail over and over and over. How many, and understand this, there's nothing wrong with going back to the drawing board. There's nothing wrong with saying, yo, I got to go back to the work because I done ran out all of my money, because I put it all in my business and I fucking failed. There's nothing wrong with that. But let me tell you something, right? There's so many people out here, and I thought about this today, and it's a really good one. There's so many people out here that went back to the drawing board and never walked away to go back to the business. There's so many people that say, oh, man, I spent all my money on my business and I didn't make anything. And they said, oh, I'm going to go get a job. And they never left that job. They never went back to their business to give it back some water, to try and water it again, to try and put something back into it. You want to know why? Because they failed and they understood they didn't have what it takes, because they didn't have the discipline. They didn't have the self-awareness. They didn't have the self-accountability. They didn't have the care, the passion. They didn't have the understanding. They didn't understand that it is not about what you did. It's about what you didn't do. It's not about how hard you worked. It's about how much you executed. It's not about how much you care. It's not about how much you provide. It's about how much the customer is satisfied. It's about how much the customer values your business, not about how valuable you think it is. It's not about how valuable you think your business is. Who the fuck cares how valuable you think your business is? Do you think I care that you think that your product is good? Do you think that I care that you think your shirt design is nice? I think it's ugly. If I think it's ugly, I'm not going to buy it. If I don't buy it, you don't get my money. If you don't get my money, so be it. It's not about your feelings. Too many people start businesses thinking people give a freak about their feelings. I hate phones. I'm starting to hate electronics. Makes me sick. Brings back memories and traumatic situations and things that I don't even want to think about on a daily basis. But you want to know why I do it? Because my customers love it. Because it makes me money. It builds me, and I work too damn hard to let my feelings get in the way of me building my legacy. And that is the difference. The difference is people think that building a business is always going to be fun. People think that being an entrepreneur is always going to be daisies and you're going to shit roses. No, sometimes you're going to be in this office right here, or in your office, or in your room, or on that bed, or in that car, wherever you at right now, crying, just giving yourself everything, telling yourself, yo, I can't do it no more. And you ain't going to have nobody to tell you they proud of you. You ain't going to have nobody to tell you they see you. They recognize the hard work. They recognize how much you want it. You ain't going to have nobody give you praise, because nobody praises, nobody respects, nobody supports, and nobody actually sees you until you are actually successful. Nobody gives a hell about who you are. Nobody cares about who you are until you are somebody that they can actually get and build or get something from. Nobody cares about you. That's kind of wrong. Your kids care about you. But nobody really cares about you in this world. They only care about what they can get from you. And that is why I tell you guys, whenever I can, hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable. And when I get on these calls on a daily basis and I see y'all beautiful faces, right? I see some black people. I see some white people. I see some Puerto Rican people. I see some Indian people. I see overseas individuals. I see people in the States. When I see all of you beautiful individuals, it gives me motivation, because it shows me a person sitting somewhere in the world looking at me through that camera right there, and they hold themselves accountable enough to keep trying. That's why that video that y'all see, that's why that video that just came out, that's on my channel right now, right? That's why that video, this video right here, was a highlight of my day. That's why this right here, no matter if it get 4 views, if it get 6 views, if it get 2 views, right? No matter how many views that video would get, that's why that video means a lot to me, because I sat this morning at 8 a.m. talking to an individual that cared about his success, even though he felt like he wasn't getting success. He actually wanted it more than he actually wanted to feel it. See, the difference is people want to feel the success, but they don't want to work for the execution that it takes to get it. People don't really want it. They just want how it feels. Did you ever think about how it will feel to have everything you want? You ever think of that? See, a lot of people never had those experiences. I've had experiences getting penthouses or getting phone stores. Let me tell you this. I had phone stores, right, where I bust my ass to get the phone store. Everybody else doubted me. Why are you getting a phone store? You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Oh, my God, da-da-da-da, right? Everybody doubting me. Nobody supporting me. Nobody telling me they proud of me. Nobody ever giving me no congratulations. Nobody doing none of that, right? But I'm going to tell you something. When you walk in that store and it's just you, you unlock the door to that store after you get the keys, because you go to the leasing place and you get the keys to the store, and then you get to go into the store by yourself for the first time. When you go into that store and you turn that key, let me tell y'all something. You turn that key, and then you open the door. You roll the gates up if you got gates, but you open the door, and then you go into an empty store, and then you look around the store, and it's quiet, and nobody's right there to look at you. Nobody's there to see you. Nobody's there to feel you. Nobody's there to clap their hands. Nobody's there to discredit you. Nobody's there to do anything. It's just you. That's when the pressure gets put on you. Because everybody that doubted you, now you can see and feel them waiting for you to fail. That's when you see, damn. And I remember, it's been times where I walk into a store, right, when I just get the keys, and I say this to myself: you done fucked up now. You done fucked up now. What did you get yourself into? And I love every second of it, because it's another challenge. And it's a feeling of like, damn, bro. That shit gotta work. And if it don't work, I gotta learn something from it. This is gonna be a crazy expensive lesson, but I'm ready. Buckle up. And that's how I approach everything, y'all. Because when you in that store or when you in that situation or you spent that money on those products and that money leaves your account, it's like, what did I just do? There ain't no going back now. And I love that feeling, y'all. I love that feeling when I'm thinking about not doing something or I'm thinking about doing something. And I'm contemplating, I'm like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? Right? And then when I just do it, it's sort of kind of like, when you like close your eyes and you just do it. You just do it. And then you do it. And then you open your eyes, you like, it's no going back. I love that feeling. I love the thrill. I love the risk. I love that. Because I'm built for that. I'm built for it. I'm built for the risk. I'm built for the no's. I'm built for the failure. I'm built for the success. I'm built for the times that I feel like I ain't getting nothing from it. I sit in the same room, in the same chair, with this same microphone and these same monitors and cry. And get frustrated. And feel disappointed in myself. But I love myself, man, and I'm so happy that every day I wake up to figure things out. Every day I wake up, it's not waking up. Sometimes I wake up like, yo, bro, man, I didn't get 1 million views on that video. A lot of y'all not. Sometimes I do. I wake up like that. I be like, I put a lot into that, but whatever. But then I snap back out of it, and you know what I do? I say, all right, why? All right, the pity party's over. Why? Why am I not where I want to be? Why do I not have what I want to have? Why am I not in the position I deserve to be? Why am I not executing the way I need to? Why? How can I fix it? Okay, I can fix it by doing this, and this. How will I hold myself accountable? I'm going to hold myself accountable in this day, and that day, and this day. I'm going to build this system. I'm going to do this. Y'all think I'm playing? This is a whole schedule of lives because I have not been going live. And I've been thinking to myself, I need to go live more to give you guys more content. So you know what I did? I said, fuck all of the excuses. Fuck all of the, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it the next day. No, I said I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to type something up. I'm going to make sure I have a schedule, and I'm going to stick to the schedule. And if I don't stick to the schedule, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I have no reason for excuses because excuses are not going to feed my daughter. They're not going to feed my son. They're not going to make sure that generational wealth exists. It is not going to be me that is the reason for the same repetitive failure over and over again. So you got to have somebody in the family that's going to actually change it. You got to have somebody in the family that's actually going to be selfless enough to sacrifice themselves. See, not everybody's selfish enough to sacrifice themselves. People care about themselves too much. Some of y'all watching right now, you care about yourself too much. You care about what you want too much. You care about how you want it too much. You care about what makes you feel good too much. You think that I feel good sitting here right now? Absolutely not. You think I feel good doing what I'm doing right now? No. But it's not about what I feel good doing. It's about understanding what your calling is and what you're good at. Whoever needed that, I hope that you utilize it. Because when I go off and do the little, because this was only supposed to be a 30-minute live, but when I go off and I express myself the way I express myself, right? I hope that the people that actually do watch me, whether now or later, I hope you actually see that this isn't content. This ain't content for me. None of this is content for me. None of it. This ain't content. This is the same type of way I would talk to somebody that is a part of my family, somebody that I want to be successful because I feel like it wasn't done for me. What's good? What's good? I'm doing good. How are you? It wasn't done for me. I ain't had nobody to support me. I still don't have plenty of people to support me, if I'm being honest. And that's okay. So All my entrepreneurs out there, man, or the people that want to be entrepreneurs and the people that are entrepreneurs and the people that are just like, I don't know if I have what it takes. Listen, only you know what you're willing to do. But understand that you're going to have to grow in some capacity. You're just going to have to choose what you're willing to give up and sacrifice. Are you going to ignore me forever? What are you talking about? I done went off on a motivational rant. I don't got no time. I ain't even finna do it, broski. Like, I don't know. Oh, you had a troll. I'm not even gonna say what I'm thinking. All right, guys. So I'm about to get off. I appreciate you guys. If you have not watched this live, man, watch it back. Definitely. I appreciate everybody that tuned in for TikTok. Tuned in from all of the YouTube channels. Again, y'all, I can't wait to work with you guys in any capacity, and I hope you guys continue to see success, of course. And let's make this money, man. No matter what, we're gonna make this money. We're gonna grow. We're gonna build. And I hope whoever that message was for, I really honestly hope that you do take that and hold yourself accountable. I'm not asking you to buy a product from me. I'm not asking you to go on my website. Now, I mean, I would like for you to go on the website and grow your income, but I'm not asking for none of that. I really honestly am asking everybody watching, just hold yourself accountable. That's it. Like, if you say you want to do something, do it. Stop waiting and stop procrastinating. If you say you want to do something, do it. That's it. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Do it. Stop talking about it and be about it. I will be live tomorrow, guys, 8:15 sharp Eastern. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.